Hey everyone, Walter Crosby with Helix Sales Development, your host of Sales and Cigars. Got another episode today, one I'm excited about. And I know I say that all the time, but I get excited about when I know my guest is a cigar guy, cigar person. And when I got in contact with him originally through LinkedIn, his picture on his banner in LinkedIn is him sitting in a chair with a suit, smoking a cigar. And he's got this little grin on his face. It's just like I knew I had to get this guy on the podcast. Turns out he's an avid cigar guy. He's got a great story about how he got to the business, but his business can help business owners, B2C, B2B, doesn't matter. He's got lots of ways to provide value for lead gen, value for rewards, the ability to help non-for-profits in your community. Just some really good ideas. And he's also offered a discount for his products, services by going to his website, which is marketingboost.com/podcast. And that one gets you a discounted version of his for the first month for $1. Save you about $35. I think it's something you should check out if you're in business and you're looking for lead gen or ability to reward people for introductions or referrals, or if you just want to do something for a non-for-profit that you care about. Really, I think you'll enjoy the episode. Grab a cocktail and cigar, strap in, and so get ready for the conversation with Marco Torres from Marketing Boost. So, Marco, let's talk a little bit about your business, marketing. We'll have some data in the show notes. People will be able to find you. But I kind of like to start with how it's a unique business and how you're helping companies grow with this unique concept of boosting their sales and using this vacation idea. So, just gonna let you kind of explain that.
Sure, thanks. Yeah, this business came about actually 5, 6 years ago. We started in 2017. But prior to that, my partners and I also own one of the fastest growing travel sites in North America, bookvip.com. And that site, when we first launched it in maybe 2010, we started, booming with sales. We were really growing pretty quick. And when you have a startup and it's doing a lot of volume, you easily likely end up with some negative reviews, which happened to us. And of course, we realized we need to fix this and fix that, which obviously we did. But those negative reviews, they live on Google right up on top forever. And we're sitting and really negatively affecting us. So we needed to come up with an idea to offset that and manage our reputation. And we started asking our clients when they were on the peak of their happiness, probably a day after checking at the resort on Cancun or Hawaii or whatever, we'd send them an email and a text and survey them and ask them, hey, how's the hotel living up to your expectations, etc. And when we got a 4 or 5 back, we would immediately reply, wonderful, we're glad you're thrilled with the hotel, etc. Please help us spread the word about us, and please if you would give us a video review of the hotel and of our brand, we'll reward you with a complimentary hotel stay, a bonus trip. And boom, we started getting dozens of these video testimonials with people doing testimonials with their kids and the family at the pool, at the bar, at the restaurant, at the beach. And we leveraged those video testimonials all over our website, and it leveraged into millions of more sales. Before we know, we had thousands of these video testimonials. At the beginning, it was coming out of our pocket to fulfill those free trips we were offering, and it was expensive. It was worth it because those video testimonials are a powerful tool to generate more business. But because of that, we started reaching out to all of these resort partners that we had and relationships we had and said, we know you've got a problem, and one of the problems you have is you're never full year round. So all these hotels we work with, even in they're full in peak season, holidays, weekends, special events, but the majority of the years they've got a lot of rooms empty. And so we talked them into beginning just half a dozen really to get started. And we said, look, we can help you put warm bodies in those rooms so that they're spending money at the restaurant, the bar, room service, the casino, this gift shop, etc., versus nobody in your property. So when those rooms go empty, the most expensive room for the hotel is the one that went empty. As soon as the clock clicks midnight, that's revenue they're never going to see again. So we convinced them to do this, and they gave us inventory of rooms that would have likely been empty. And so with that, we actually started a business, which eventually became called Marketing Boost today. And the whole idea, we help business owners today. We provide complimentary hotel stays in over 125 destinations around the world, sexy spot destinations like 7 nights in Phuket, Thailand, 4 nights in Bali, 5 nights in Cancun, Mexico, 5 nights in Hawaii, 3 nights in Vegas, 30 US destinations, bunches, 3 or 4 in Mexico, bunch all over Europe, all over Australia, all over Singapore, India. We've got them everywhere. So now we have clients around the world that use our service. And in addition to that, we also have hotel savings cards and restaurant savings vouchers, so that we've got a mix of incentives that our clients can use. And the whole idea is to find ways to add value to your offers versus discount.
Wow. So those are some pretty, like you said, sexy destinations. You're not sending them to Cleveland and Peoria. They get some real places people actually want to go. You turned a sort of a negative situation into a positive and created another whole business out of it, which is awesome. But who's your ideal customer? Who's the ideal business that can use this effectively to help them grow their business?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we've literally, the target market is digital marketing experts. We're not necessarily experts, the marketing directors, business owners, direct salespeople. We literally have, again, thousands of business owners today that use our service. I found out the other day, I've got a lemonade stand guy that uses our service. So from a guy who's got
A
a bunch of
lemonade
lemonade
stand guy?
stands to car dealerships. So we literally have every kind of niche, from insurance agents, realtors. We've got solar home improvement companies. We've got literally just about everything you can think of, because there's a million ways to use these incentives. For example, a lot of people might think, well, I'm not in the travel business. How would I use a travel incentive in my niche? Give you an idea. One simple way is to lead by giving. So even if you only use these incentives a few times a year for the price that Marketing Boost charges, any business owner can afford it. By the way, I just throw that out there right now. To be a member of Marketing Boost and have access to these unlimited incentives, it's only $37 a month. So it's really a no-brainer price for any solopreneur, entrepreneur, home-based business, network marketer, you name it, anybody can afford it. And we made it that way so that we could go global with one price, whether you were a small business in Pakistan or India or the Philippines or the US or Australia. So we made it a simple, easy, no-brainer price. But where was I going? Leading by giving. So you could use our incentives, for example, to support nonprofits in your local area, or fundraising needs, like a football team needs football gear. So your company or your brand is going to sponsor the fundraising event. You're going to walk in the door and say, look, I'm going to give away 5 trips, 3 to Las Vegas, 2 to Cancun, and my company is going to sponsor these gifts. If we can get everybody to bid on them and raise some funds, do a blind auction or an auction for these vacations, and the winners are going to get to go on a trip, plus they're supporting a great cause. And then that business owner can have a captive audience the day of the event, for example. He can be, hey, this is what I do. My company is sponsoring these trips. Here's how they work. You're going to have to pay the taxes when you activate the certificate. Then you're going to have 18 months to select your travel dates. By the way, I'm a real estate expert. So if you're selling, buying, whatever, I'm the expert. I can help you get into a home or get out of your home or whatever you need. But please support the cause so they can set themselves up as the authority, and they're successful enough to be giving away vacations that people will look like, wow, this guy must be doing something right. I'm going to talk to him when I need insurance or real estate or whatever you're doing. So that's just one idea. I can go on and on if you give me the time.
Well, so where I was looking at it, it looked like it worked really well for B2C, right? For somebody that's selling to insurance to the consumers or some other real estate, residential real estate. But with the way you just described that could work either way for a B2B, a B2C. But tell me if I just had an idea pop in my head when you were talking. If I reward people for providing me an intro, and I don't want to send them cash, and sometimes they're clients, sometimes they're not, but I want to do something to show my appreciation. This would work for that.
Oh yeah, you could do it for asking for referrals. So for one, you could be point blank saying, hey, if you give me, after you do business with me, whatever, if you'll give me, 10 referrals, 5 referrals, I'm going to reward you with a complimentary hotel stay, or I'm going to reward you with a $500 hotel savings card. See, our hotel savings cards are like cash credits. So they work like a gift card. They don't pay the full hotel rate, but they do take off, they buy down the retail price. So they'll save between 10 and 50% off of the retail compared to the Expedias of the world. And then the restaurant savings vouchers. So we teach our members give micro incentives for micro calls to action. Like you might not give a 5-night trip to Cancun to join your email list, but you could use a hotel savings card for that. Let's say you're trying to book appointments, whether it's B2B or B2C. If you've got people go to your website, you're trying to get them to book an appointment with you for a Zoom call or what have you. Now they book an appointment. Guess what? If you're like most people, you've got a huge percentage of people who don't show up. So they book an appointment and then they don't show up for the appointment. So you can reward them. You can say, by the way, I know your time is super valuable. So is mine. So if you would show up on time for the appointment you booked, I'm going to reward you with a $500 hotel savings card or a 3-night trip to Las Vegas on me just for showing up for the appointment. And boom. And so that's another way to make sure your calendar stays full. And not only will people book more because you've got the incentive to book, but then your reminder emails, your text messenger emails to remind them to show up for the appointment are reminding them that you're going to give them a reward for showing up on time, whether it's a restaurant voucher or a hotel savings card or something along those lines. And then when they buy your product, you kick it up and go, by the way, I gave you a restaurant voucher, hotel savings card for booking the appointment, but since you're going to go ahead and move forward with my coaching program, I'm going to go ahead and reward you with, if you hire me and keep me for a minimum of 6 months, so now you can turn it into loyalty. If you hire me for a minimum of 6 months, at the anniversary of 6 months, I'm going to reward you with 6 days and 5 nights in Cancun on me. Or at the end of the year, at your anniversary of a year with me, I'm going to reward you with the following. So you can turn it into a loyalty program. You can use them for lead generation. You can use them for, as I mentioned, for nonprofits. You can use it. You know what? You can use it to solve problems. Let's say you made a mistake with a client. They're unhappy because you didn't deliver enough on time, or you shipped the wrong product or whatever. So your customer service team could be calling people and going, fixing problems and saying, look, we want to apologize for the mistake we made. We're going to ship you the right product. We're going to fix the problem. And just for the aggravation, we're going to reward you with a complimentary trip to Las Vegas on us. And we're going to fix the problem, of course. But you turn someone who's upset into a raving fan and an evangelist for your brand. And instead of negative reviews, you turned them right around.
Yeah, I got 2 vendors. I'm going to give them your names. So start to do that. I had 2 vendors today just dropped the ball, and I just want my problem fixed. That's all I'm looking for. A little cherry on the top for as you said, for the aggravation that you go through. But I really like that idea of being able to, because we get asked all the time as business owners to support a charity, whether it be your kid's booster club or just some organization that you're part of, and being able to have you get a little presence at the event, and then they see that you've given away all of those ideas. You're supporting the group, you're supporting that community, you're supporting that non-for-profit. That's just a really cool way to go about it. And because for people like me, I don't fit everybody's needs. There's a lot of people that wouldn't mind going to Cancun for 5 days, and they might be willing to bid on that if they know it's going to charity and somebody else covered the cost.
Exactly. So you end up looking like the hero. You end up looking like the authority for whatever it is you do. And then people are going to at least put it in the back of their mind. And you can also, for everybody who won the bid, you can hand deliver them a printed certificate, and you can shake hands and hand them your card and say, what do you do? And hey, any chance we can sit down and go over your financial needs? I'm a financial advisor, yada, and you give them your elevator pitch. And if nothing else, again, you're building that brand in the community. So like you said, you take instead of being annoyed by there's somebody else hitting me up for money, you'd be looking for those opportunities to go participate in fundraising events in the community, or even online or what have you, that you can be branding yourself. And again, this is a marketing boost is like the secret, the mastermind secret for many a marketer, because your client won't find out about marketing. When they receive the certificate from us or from you, they activate it online. They go to our travel site that fulfills these, called redeemvacations.com. There, they will activate the certificate by paying the government taxes. The government's going to get their piece no matter what everywhere. So we've got to pay the hotel taxes. And typically we let the clients do that, the end user of the certificate. So they activate the certificate by paying the government fees and taxes, which usually runs about 35 bucks a night. And then they've got the complimentary hotel stay. Obviously, it doesn't include airfare, it doesn't include food and beverage, it doesn't include miscellaneous anything, but they get their rooms comp. So the client wins with the free room. The Marketing Boost member wins with the membership to be able to give away these free trips and other incentives. And the resorts win because they've got those warm bodies on the property, spending more money, booking additional nights, upgrading rooms, upgrading all inclusive. Who knows? So there's revenue so everybody wins in the circle. And what I was getting ready to say was about that the client won't know about it. So they won't find out that you're only, in other words, we're not marketing to the user of the certificate to find out that they can also get Marketing Boost for $37 a month. The idea is they're going to think you obviously must have made a bigger investment than $37 a month. So it's a powerhouse opportunity or tool to use for just about anything.
Yeah, it really, you're limited by imagination and how somebody might be interested in, where they might be interested in some travel, hotel accommodations. You could go in the States and, Mexico, or you're spread all around. You said you had 123 locations around.
125 around the world. So yeah, there's about 30 U.S. destinations like Orlando, Las Vegas, San Diego, Branson, New York, Myrtle Beach, Daytona. Literally a lot of great spots that everybody wants to. Then we've got again 3 spots in Mexico: Cancun, Mexico, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta. Cancun, we've got one of the best offers we've had in years. We recently brought on some great resorts in Cancun, Riviera Maya, and Playa del Carmen. We've got a AAA, 3-diamond AAA resort right on the beach in Cancun. That is an amazing property. 7 pools, 15 restaurants and bars, all available with these certificates. So that's an amazing price. You should join and give yourself the trip to Cancun just to get started and test the program.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And those are great resorts. So I really appreciate that. Really opens this up because my perception was not reality. It's much wider, much bigger. There's much more there. I really appreciate you opening that up for everybody. And this is something that if somebody wants to get involved or to look at this, they just go to the website, marketingboost.com.
That's the best way to go. I do have a special offer for your listeners, Walter. We can go to marketingboost.com/podcast, and they can get 30 days of Marketing Boost for $1 and then give themselves a complimentary trip and use the program. But I can tell you some more success stories or case studies that are powerful. Here's an example. Here's a guy that started a business in January 2021 out of Houston, Texas. And he's an immigrant from India, and he has a team in India that does analytics of when to buy, sell stocks, trades, crypto, etc. And he built a huge community on Telegram, one of those social media networks, Telegram. And he had thousands of people, or rather hundreds of people paying him $97 a month for his info. And he built up quite a few hundred people paying him $97 a month for his info. And then he turned around and did a promo with Marketing Boost when he found us and said, I'll tell you what, if you join and become a biannual member, pay 6 months in advance, we'll give you a choice of complimentary stay in Las Vegas, San Diego, or Orlando. Then he went with, if you paid for 12 months in advance, I'm going to reward you with your choice of 6 days, 5 nights in Cancun or Hawaii. He had several hundred, 300 of them combined paid the annual, or 300 paid the annual. That was almost 300,000, and another 150 or 200 paid the 6 months. So he generated over $400,000 in 4 days by getting people to bump up to his biannual or annual plans. And that's one of many success stories. Others, I've had people grow their Facebook groups, for example, to grow their social following. And one guy grew his Facebook group from 0 to 10,000 members by using the incentives. Every week he'd throw a contest with all of his people joining and saying, hey, if you invite 20 of your friends to join our Facebook group, you get a chance to win a trip to Cancun. And then the next week, then he'd make a big deal out of the winner. Whoever won, he'd make a big deal, a Zoom call, and give them the gift live on the Zoom call. Then next week, we're running a promotion for Las Vegas. Invite 20 of your friends and get a chance to win a trip to Las Vegas. So every week for weeks, he was giving away a different trip, and everybody inviting more people to join. and it grew virally. So before he got over 10,000 people, and then he started monetizing his Facebook group by the relationships he's building with everybody in his group. So that's just one, and I've had many people do stuff like that to grow and engage their Facebook groups or their Instagram and that kind of thing.
Yeah, because that's the power of a list on social media or any list really is that's the hard part is building the list. And if you can provide a real solid incentive for folks to build that list, you can't not win. It's
Right.
gonna be a win along that way. That's awesome. Let's shift gears. I'm gonna go back. We'll come back to the marketingboost.com/podcast for members to or potential members to go and sign up and get that discount. That's very generous. I appreciate that. So let's talk a little bit about cigars, because one of the things when I first started to try to get you to come on to the podcast, I went and looked at your LinkedIn page, and I thought I was the only guy with sitting there with a cigar and a chair. And you've got that. You got a cigar there looking all comfortable and professional. You got one in your hand now. So let's talk about how you use a cigar in the course of your day, the course of your week. What is it? Why is it important? How long have you been smoking? You got a story. I'm intrigued with that because that's a great photo, by the way. It was just
Thanks.
a really
Thanks.
good photo.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I had a guy do his photo shoots and what I got a number of pictures where I look like they tell me I look like the guy from the beer commercial, the Dos Equis. So I have a campaign I run all out that says I don't always use incentives, but when I do, it's marketing boost. And so I've got that look with the cigar and the beer and the whatever, or a glass of bourbon or something. But no, cigars came around with me was my late wife, rest her soul, rest in peace. But my late passed away about 5 years ago. But years and years ago, we would go out and when we met at the bar. I used to be a nightclub owner actually, and one time she told me she loved the smell of cigars. It was so manly. She loved the smell of cigars. She loved the aroma of the cigar, the leatherness feel, the just to her it was like I don't know.
Aphrodisiac?
Yeah, she enjoyed it. And so I started smoking cigars. I said, "You like the smell of it?" She wasn't my wife yet at the time. She wasn't my wife yet at the time. And she was telling me she loves the smell of cigars. I'm like, well, shit, I can get a cigar.
Absolutely.
And
She just
so,
told you how to sell her. Sell yourself
exactly. So
to it.
that's one way. If you like it, I'm going to smoke one. So that's where it started. And I've never really become an aficionado. I'm no expert on all. There's so many options and flavors. And I pretty much stick to Arturo Fuentes. I like a nice mild cigar, not too bold, not too
That makes
strong,
sense.
and just smooth. I've had some Cubans in the past here and there. Hard to get your hands on those. So for me, what they do is nowadays I smoke probably 3 times a week. I'll go out in the afternoon and pour myself a bourbon or something and light up a cigar, and it's just very relaxing to me. The whole process of getting the cigar, cutting it, lighting it, smoking it easy, calm. It's a calming,
Slows you slows you down a little bit.
yeah, it's a calming, for me, it's a calming thing. Okay, I'm going to relax. I'm going to smoke it in, let it out. Of course, the good thing is with cigars that I like is we're not inhaling it down our lungs. So I don't feel guilty about like damaging my lungs very much because very little of it is getting into the lungs, if
And
anything.
anybody wants to dispute that fact can send me all the letters they want. I don't.
You smell it, so obviously some of it might be getting into your lungs area because you're enjoying the aroma and what have you. But it's certainly nowhere near as like smoking cigarettes, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely, the
Yeah,
pleasure outweighs the pain in my mind.
yeah,
So
and so yeah, so cigars for me is it's, and then ever since Clinton made them even more famous.
he made a few things famous, but to me, I agree with what you're saying. It allows you to contemplate what something that's in the future or reflect on something that occurred in that day or that week. They can be very social. I can tell you, I was in Vegas over Thanksgiving, and there was a Davidoff store right on the strip, just a couple of a click down from my hotel, and if they couldn't find me, like my wife and daughter couldn't find me, they knew to go there because you could sit outside in the shade, you could have a cocktail, and there were tons of people there. You could people watch because people walk down the strip. But the thing about it for me is I'm not good even though I'm in sales and I've been in sales my whole life, I don't enjoy walking into a room where I don't know somebody and doing that thing, right? Networking and that. I can do it. I do it with the best of them. It's not I don't find joy in it. But sitting there having a cigar, and somebody sits down and you have something immediately in common, right? Like you might be smoking, I'm smoking an Alec Bradley or a Padron, but you got something that you can talk about, something you can bond over, and you have that stick, and it just kind of brings everybody together that's in that space.
Right.
I,
Right. You at
I I
least
just think
start
it's
the
a
conversation there on a easy icebreaker about what you're smoking and what have you, and then it goes from there everything else. And before
an
you made a
hour
new friend,
later. I didn't know the guy, and an hour later, you got a whole dossier on everybody, and it's not about business per se. It's just about making a
relationships.
connection.
Yeah,
Yeah,
connections, relationships, friends,
feel
socializing in general. Yeah, you didn't.
exactly.
Maybe you made a friend that you contact later on, maybe never, but you had a good time that day, and otherwise you might have been sitting at it without the cigar. You'd be sitting at another bar having a drink all by yourself and nothing. But in the cigar lounge, at least you're meeting other men and just socializing, which
Yeah,
is
it's common ground, and I have my own cigar on my property, and I don't bring a lot of people in, but for me, it's just I can sit there with a pad of paper and a cigar. Sometimes I have a cocktail, but most of the time I don't do a lot of drinking alone. And I can think about something and I can thoroughly think through it because my brain is occupied with the tactile aspects of the cigar and it can focus on that. And my subconscious, the creativity can start to flow because I don't have any other distractions. And I found it some of the best ideas that I've had and some creative writing and things that I've done has all come from.
from smoking a cigar. That's a good point because as humans, we're creatures of habit. And one of the biggest habits that's difficult for somebody to quit smoking, for example, is what do they do with their hands? They want to light, boom, the exercise of taking the cigarette out of the box, lighting it, smoking it, putting the ashes back and forth. So when they quit smoking, if they're ever lucky enough to quit smoking, then they end up eating because then they got to just go back and put stuff in their mouth, and it becomes so. The cigar does exactly that for me. It gives me that okay. I've got something to do with my left hand, and then it moves to the right hand back and forth, and then to the ashes and the light. And your brain, like you say, your creative side is starts to flow, and it's a great point.
I've talked to a psychologist about that, and they confirmed that your that tactile aspect of it keeps your conscious mind focused and it allows your subconscious mind to go to work. And it's I don't know. It's just to me, it's a source of pleasure. My wife she's not a fan of cigar smoke. And when I used to go out we'd have a Wednesday meeting and then everybody would adjourn from the meeting and go up to what they called the Red Room. And this was back when you could private club, smoke cigars, play cards, have a cocktail. I'd come home smelling like I'd had a couple of cigars and I was in a room with people that were having cigars. So the rule there was I had to go drop the clothes before I got into bed, take a shower, and then I could get into bed. And stale cigar smoke, I get it. It wasn't something that she was down with, but the cigar lounge that I have stemmed from her product because she knew that I enjoyed cigars and neither one of us wanted to smoke them in the house. So we built this room in my pole bar, and she was really helpful in the design process. She's like, "Why are you doing 8-foot ceilings?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And I looked at the guy that was helping me with the construction part. I'm like, "Why are we doing 8-foot ceilings?" He said, "Well, you want to make them taller?" And so we figured out we could put 10-foot ceilings in the room without any trouble. And so she convinced me to put taller ceilings in, which is helpful with cigars because that smoke can go up there and hang. She convinced me that I needed a better exhaust system and to make the room bigger. So I was trying to do it all nice, compact. So somebody that doesn't like cigars, but appreciated the fact that I did and wanted to give me a space where I was 65 steps from my back door. So I wasn't going anywhere. Maybe that was her.
Yeah, so you got
I
your
like to
nice
think
man
that she
cave in
was
the backyard, so you can.
yeah, but she was helping me make it better than I was going to make it, which is usually what she does. Marco, I really appreciate this. A great conversation. I was right. When you see a guy with that look and that feel and photo with the cigar, he's in business. That's a guy you want to talk to, and he's got something going on. He had a great business here, a way to help people grow their business in a variety of different ways. So I'm going to start talking up marketing boost. I appreciate the offer for folks to get a discount on that first month. That's awesome. Thank you very much.
I'm ready to go enjoy the afternoon, light this up. Yeah, by the way, we do have an affiliate program you might want to consider if you're going to start talking it up. So you can earn, 40% as an affiliate for everybody who signs up for the life of their membership. So something to go.
Right. We'll have to take a look at that. I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good afternoon with the cigar. Thanks, Marco.
Thank you. Pleasure talking to you, Walter.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.